of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, shanties and illegal structures with that's in Abuja will no longer be tolerated. In this regard, the Directorate of Road Transport Services of the Federal Capital Territory, FCTA, has started demolition of eateries, shops, and other illegal structures in taxi parks across Abuja. The demolition started with Area 3 and Banex Junction, that is taxi park in Abuja. Also in Area 3, taxi park, the team supported by security agencies demolished mechanic workshops and eateries, among others. Yes, so that the Federal Capital Territory will not turn to another Lagos.
But even the Lagos State government is trying.
This is not in any way to undermine the effort of the Lagos government.
No.
With over 20 million people, you go to some areas, you won't believe that this is Lagos.
You know, population. You know, the population in Lagos keeps growing.
Yes.
Because of the attraction, former Federal Capital Territory, and successive governments in Lagos State have really been improving on the things that will that continue to attract people here.
Yeah.
But you have to have a solid plan to manage overpopulation and ensure that illegal structures are really kept under control, which is what I think Wike is bringing to Abuja. There was a time, El-Rufai, when he was the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, he tried to bring some sanity to the FCT, but thereafter, it's like ministers that succeeded him were not interested in that. To the extent that you saw cattle grazing openly in Abuja, and you go around, you see manholes stolen, manhole covers stolen, you see. It's a welcome development that these things, that the FCT administration is trying to make the place a saner environment, to ensure a saner environment and a saner and safer environment. Because there are people who seriously have no business being in the federal capital. Yes, Nigeria is a home for all. Lagos is open to all. Abuja is open to all. Wherever, as this section 40 or 46 of the Constitution says you have a right to live anywhere. As a Nigerian, you have a right to live in any place. But you should not constitute a nuisance wherever you live. So if your inclination is to cause trouble or to engage in crime, to break people's cars, to kidnap people, to kill people, then the government will tell you, no, this can't be tolerated here. So definitely the FCT should do that. But I think also, side by side that, apart from displacing, while you're displacing people, you should also set up places where these people can be located to, because these are businesses, shops, restaurants, mechanic workshops. You should have designated areas where you can put these people to, so that their lives are not disrupted. And then you don't add to the existing number of criminals you are combating.
All right, I have Olawale back on the line. Thank you for staying with us, Olawale.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, go ahead now.
I was saying that, look, it's becoming an embarrassment for bandits to be operating within Abuja, the seat of power. Look, I hope we will not wake up one day and discover that bandits have wreaked damage on the Aso Rock, where, as you said, we have the three most powerful people living in Abuja. These people are so damning. When you combine their effort with the effort of the international oil thieves, don't be surprised. And the drug barons, they will embarrass us in Nigeria. Then the people who are in charge of oil bunkering, or what do you call it? Well, they are the high and the powerful ones in the presidency and in the NNPC. So let the president focus his attention in those two areas. God bless you.
Thank you, Wale. So before Wale made that call, we're talking about developments in Abuja and what Youth and Wike to do. Right in my presence here, as a young man, I saw a place, a new town springing up in Mowe Bafo. Yeah. And I've seen that place turning into a glorified slum. Everywhere, everybody just Tower Babel, everybody just building all sort of, no development there. The Ogun State government did not done anything meaningful in that town. So if we have suburbs like that, if you have places like that springing up and government is not paying attention to it, this might turn into a big embarrassment in future.
Yeah. That's one of the problems. We usually wait, allow, people come in there 1, 2, 3, 10.
Yes, they're just building anyhow.
Don't do anything until that place has become
plan. Anybody
just about 1,000. The government moves in there with a bulldozer. It shows that government, data-driven governance is absent. Because if people are putting structures in a particular environment, you have information, and then the normal things for you to act on time before it becomes, an embarrassment. When Abuja was when the planning was designed in 1977 by International Planning Institute, the idea was to have a city that was one of the best, if not in the world, but at least in Africa. And they had about a plan for about 5 phases, then 2 zones. And the planning was designed to look into security, transportation, housing, infrastructure, and then tourism. But suddenly, we discovered that this thing did not happen just today. It didn't begin today. Over the years, especially under the era of the military, people are just doing anything that they like to do. There was no strict adherence to the original master plan of the city. Because the idea of having housing in the outskirts of Abuja is also linked up to the idea of tram, rail system, so that people can live very far, in Gwagwalada, and then in Abuja, 10 minutes you are there through. But you discover that those rail tracks that were supposed to, people have built all sorts of things in those, on those the land that are meant to accommodate to, transportation facilities and all that. But I think that in bringing down these buildings, is not enough. We should have preventive mechanism that this thing should not happen again. These buildings, when they start building them, the tradition is that the town planners will mark them. That means they are aware. But the next thing is that the owner of that building will complete the building, and then they will cover that red mark with paint. So it means that money has exchanged hands. So individuals who are working in the town planning land department, they should be held responsible for approving, for illicit approval of some of these buildings. So while bringing them down, you must have a future plan that it will not repeat itself. So I think that just like Emeka also said, we should not just be having this conception that Abuja is meant for people that are rich. It must also accommodate the poorest of the poor in terms of low-cost housing. So the government must have plans for them so that everybody will not just find themselves in a situation where they are just scrambling to survive and then build whatever they have anywhere. And you must also accommodate indigenous communities, their ancestral communities, homes and all that, who have been there for centuries. So that in planning Abuja, we should, humanity should be at the center of our thinking.
The federal government should also look at, the FCT minister should also look at, affordable housing for all.
Yes, FCT gets 1%. FCT gets 1% of the national budget. And that says a lot. What is the money being used for? What's the money being used for? These are, there are states who don't even have, who can't even scratch anywhere near the FCT's budget. But they are doing things. Look at Professor Zulum in Borno State. Look at what he's doing in terms of housing. Look at governors here and there. Abuja should have affordable housing. It's one of the 17 sustainable development goals. You have to provide affordable housing. It's not just about demolishing and throwing people on the street. You have to make sure that you have alternatives for them, viable alternatives. So the city has a master plan. Implement this master plan. Erufai did it. It was not rocket science. Implement the master plan. But while you are doing it, make sure also that it's not trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. You take land from some people and then you give to your cronies and to your friends. Let there be justice and equity in anything that is being done, so that those outskirts can be well populated, and then they have good roads. They have, reticulated potable water to their homes, good roads, security, and all of that. And then people will bring in money to build houses in Abuja. But Where you just don't care, periodically you go demolish people's structures and go away. They don't mind. This is 2024, beginning of 2024. They'll simply wait, maybe just wait for a few, 1 or 2 weeks, and then go back again, gradually sneak back, build all those things again, wait till 2025 when you wake up. You cannot continue in that cycle of incompetence. There must be definite policies, definite action on, on ensuring a sustainable environment, sustainable livelihoods. You have disrupted people's livelihoods now. How are they going to feed? Schools have started. How are they going to pay their children's school fees? How are they going to pay their rents? You have displaced them from their businesses. You say you are fighting crime, but at the same time, you are pushing more people into crime. So these things must be done with a human face.